Yeah, there are several examples that come to mind, particularly what Ken just touched on there with the merger and acquisition. That component is something that comes up fairly often. A client acquires a network as part of some kind of merger or acquisition, and that network contains machines that don't have their platform installed on it yet, or their protective services installed on it. And so due diligence is really important there. When you're going to be, interfacing with those systems and bringing them into your fold. A lot of times mergers and acquisitions are because of a particular technology or a particular setup or system that, a competitor or whatever you're buying out is using. And so, particularly with that case, I just worked with it was an education based company, and they had acquired an organization about a year or so before we got involved with them. And in this case, they were actually aware of a couple of things that they knew they needed to tag and take care of. But just because they had a sort of limited availability with personnel and time and resources, they were sort of forced to prioritize things alongside of, hey, we've got to get these other things, functional and working, sort of in tandem, if not before. And so it's very easy to get complacent when you don't have something blow up, immediately, or you don't see something that's terribly egregious. But in this case, there was a particular account that had I guess it had some sort of MFA enabled, so they kind of wrote it off as being okay. But since this was an AWS environment, some other credentials had been farmed somehow for this network. And so the threat actor got access to the network and then actually pushed a vulnerability that they use for MFA on, in this particular case, it was an AWS key pair. And so they were able to bypass MFA and begin exfiltrating data from their S3 layer and from several buckets, which contained sensitive data. And so, and then right after we finished our engagement with them, we were able to come in and they had already nipped the thing in the bud, so to speak. They had found the account, disabled it, deleted all the tokens. But after that, they had gone through a buyout themselves, and so they had dragged me back into the room to speak about how is it that this came about. And it was just very interesting to talk about. There was just another merger and acquisition that took place where they hadn't done exactly enough due diligence.